This Premier League Matchday 7 picks edition of the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog is hooking up new customers. Pay just $5 and get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with the code PLGP. Welcome, everybody, to the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is Thursday, October the 2nd. We are here to run you through a full weekend of Premier League action, commencing on Friday evening, going through to Sunday tea time before the godforsaken international break comes and spoils all the fun again, or gives us some respite from whatever's not so fun, depending on how this weekend goes. Joining me with those lights, Barry. It's about once every 7 weeks. It's like a full moon. You get those weird lights that come down your screen, and no one can explain them. We don't know where they are. It's nothing to do with your shiny head.
There's the exact same light bulb in the ceiling.
Yeah.
But sometimes we get these little glare off them, and other times we don't. It doesn't matter what I do. I can move closer. I can move further.
Don't move closer.
I can move that way, but it's just there. So it is what it is. I have tried wiping the lens. We'll give that another go. See if that works. No,
can't wipe light away, Barry.
Well, it's I can't get my head around it. Anyway, It is what it is. If you listen on podcast, you don't need to worry about it.
It doesn't bother me anyway, Barry. I'm all right with it.
You seem to be making a big deal
of it.
No,
I was just pointing out that it's a funny. I don't know why it occurs like once every 7 shows, because it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't, yeah. When I first came on, before we went live, it was even worse than it is now.
What I did enjoy was when you turned your camera off and then turned it back on again like it was going to make any difference. And now you're wiping the screen like that's going to wipe. You can't wipe. I can't keep saying you can't wipe light away.
Well, it's not actual light, is it? It's something
to do with
my lens, isn't it?
But it is because it's coming off. It's coming off the lights. It's not coming off the lens. Wave your arm through it.
It's not there, is it? It is. It's a camera malfunction as opposed to a light issue.
Do you remember when we went to see David playing in that box? Well, we didn't go specifically to see him, but we went to London, didn't we? And he was in the. Do you remember when he was in that box on was it on Tower Bridge or somewhere?
Yeah, it was next to Tower Bridge.
Newcastle Arsenal or Newcastle Fulham or
maybe Newcastle Fulham, I think.
Well, yeah, David Blaine was in that box. I just reminded me you trying to put your arm through the ray of light. Just reminded me of David Blaine. That was all.
Yeah, I was wondering where the connection was. I'm still not quite getting it, I'll be honest.
Danny Midler, this is what we tune in for. 4.5 minutes, Barry. We haven't got past your light.
Midler's already put in the comments that big fat Ange has let him down for £2,000 tonight, and now he's tuned into this shit to listen to this. His night's not getting any better, is it?
Danny's having an all-time rip. Even I tell you what, I only watched the last.
Just wiped it away. Look, unbelievable.
Fucking hell, Barry! Some sort of witchcraft going on in your house. I was going to get on to Forest in a bit, but we'll bring it up now. I didn't watch. I watched the last 4 minutes or whatever. I needed a couple of hours away from football. I've watched all the football this week. And just for the last 4 minutes was just shot after shot of Ange stood in the 6-yard box with his head in his hands. And I just said to Bob, that's all I remember about him from his time at Tottenham, was him standing in the penalty area looking completely baffled, bemused by everything. And we're all the way back. Nothing's changed. It's fucking madness. He doesn't appear to be.
He's not going to make it to Christmas, is he?
No. The Forest fans started singing "You Get Sacked in the Morning" tonight.
The big fat Greek's not going to put up with a big fat Australian for that long, is he?
Well, I watched Arsenal last night in the Big Fat Greek because they're cheering on Olympiacos because that's his other team, isn't it? He owns them. He was leaping about the back of the director's box like a lunatic. And then he'll have been doing the same tonight. So, yeah. Well done, Ange. You cost Danny a fortune. Joe Dollar was here 30 minutes early. Joe, welcome along. Bob D is here. Danny with name chair. Brutals joined us from the start. Locked in, locked out, who knows? Andy Williams is here. Anybody else? There are some other people lurking in the chat. So by all means, say hello. While we've got Joe Dollar here, Barry, then, I'm going all out to kilter now. The prediction league, Barry, for September, the month of September. I went to add up the monthly scores earlier on. Quite enthusiastic because I was fairly convinced I'd won and I just wanted to have a little flex. And then I counted up and fucking Joe's won, hasn't he? Joe Dollar's monthly prize. So a popular winner, I think we'll all agree. Joe, if you give us a shout, or I'll get in touch with Sean and Ryan, Sean/Ryan, and I'm sure you've got a avenue to them as well, because I know you get in a lot of their NFL stuff, what have you. So between us, Joe, I'll send you a message. We'll sort out a little gift card for the merch store. So well done. Don't forget to get in for this month. If you haven't played, now's the time because you've got a full month to win. Predictaddict.co.uk. Code is what? 43445, we think. Something like that. Got
You think?
Fives and that. Go back. You find it. You'll be all right. So there's that. Bit of a quiet week, but the Champions League picks weren't great. I went 1 for 4. I got into Milan on the handicap, was my only winner. But I'm still not sure how Barcelona didn't win. The closer we got to that game, the more I thought they'd win. The PSG team was just shot to shit. Then Ruiz, I think, got injured in the warm-up, one of the best players. Then Barcelona go 1-0 up, and I thought I was home and hosed. Leverkusen got 1-0 up. They couldn't hold on. I faded the wrong Dutch team. Ajax got humped 4-0 off Marseille at exactly the same prices. I just picked the wrong one. Feyenoord got beat off Villa. We said we wanted to fade all the Dutch teams. Someone, I can't remember who it was on Twitter this morning, we were talking, on YouTube comments this morning, we're talking about fading Feyenoord this evening. And, Tottenham are a bit Spursy at the moment, aren't they? They blobbed it as well. So, not particularly good. Obviously, the main story was Newcastle announcing themselves as almost certainly going to dominate European football for the next 2 generations, I would have thought, with a comfortable 4-0 away win in Europe's Premier Club competition. So we enjoyed all of that. Baz, you were in a kind of a similar boat to me, I think, weren't you?
Yeah, started really well. I mean, my favourite pick, I did say I absolutely loved the goals in the Atletico Frankfurt game. I went for the overs and the both teams to score. I thought it was a great price. And that came
Millions of them, yeah.
Easy enough, 5-1. So that was a nice start.
That would be worth, Barry, just keeping an eye on throughout Frankfurt now, if you want to. Yeah. Even like domestically this weekend. Because your case, when you laid it out, that was the pick of the night. Everyone kind of agreed it was.
It looked so obvious, didn't it? I started to get a little bit panicky, actually, because it took a while for Frankfurt to get theirs. But yeah, as soon as they got theirs, as I say, the goals were in, so it was nice and early. The other one that went well was actually a bit of an afterthought, but you covered the buy-in game, and I said I thought Kane was a great price to get at least a double. It was 9-2 to get a double, and we didn't quite get the hat-trick. Unfortunately, he came off just before they got their final goal. Because I see the goal flash up, and I thought, has he got the hat-trick? And then I looked on, and he'd been subbed off 2 minutes earlier. But 9-2 for a Kane double was all right. But the rest of my picks, not great. I went for the unders in the Newcastle game. Not good. Barcelona as well. And I can't even remember what the other pick was now, but it was a loser. So, yeah, same as you. 1 out of 4, but with a little bonus of getting the Kane thing in, which softened the blow for me.
Oddly enough, Barry, Saturday afternoon in the Bundesliga, Eintracht Frankfurt v Bayern Munich. Of all things, fucking hell, could be a bloodbath. That
same pick again. Go for Harry Kane for that 2 and 3 goals again.
Over 2.5 is -300. So you're going to have to ladder it up if you want to get involved in the goals. I covered that game, Baz, and Harry Kane didn't even play up front. Harry Kane played in the number 10. Nicholas Jackson played up top, and Harry Kane sat in behind him. I was unlucky because I took him to score.
That one, Malcolm. You're getting. It's strange actually. The other day, I'm sure we were getting a bigger price out. No, I might be wrong. Anyway, Harry Kane 2 goals at the weekend is 3-1, and Harry Kane for a hat trick 12-1. I would be all over that again against Frankfurt. They're just leaking goals all over the place.
I've done a little bit of build on Harry Kane to score twice and Harry Kane to have 4 shots on target. So he scored. Then they took him off, but they put Sacha Boey on and stuck him at right back. I was like, fucking hell. It wasn't as bad as the Chelsea goalkeeper last week, but I wasn't impressed. Like, they brought on Serge Gnabry and all these kind of players. And they took Kane off, and the one I got was Sacha Boey, who then funneled into right back because everyone else shuffled up the pitch. So, yeah, mildly disappointed. I was on the right lines, but no cigar. Download the SGPN app in your app store for easy free access to all of SGPN's picks and podcasts. I did want to mention a terrible week again for Scotland. Jesus Christ. Celtic got beat tonight at home to Braga, comfortably 2-0. Rangers, Sturm Graz, coming back from football with Bob, and about 7 o'clock and TalkSport was on, and the woman went through the team news for Rangers and the form and all that. And I thought, fucking hell, you've just got to fill in Sturm Graz here. And then I didn't, because I was trying to avoid the football tonight for a bit. And Sturm Graz stuffed him. Aberdeen lost at home to Shakhtar. So just a terrible, terrible week for Scotland as well. This Premier League week, Barry, I absolutely hated it. So I've sat here in previous weeks and said, I'm fully confident. I really enjoyed this. A lot of the picks came easy. I had to work hard for all of these picks. You messaged me half an hour ago saying I can't even think of a pick for the Newcastle match. And I said, I feel the same about 7 games. So I've been in the corners market. I've been in the shots market. I bailed out everywhere. Like, I bailed out making proper picks to try and find some stuff, because I just thought this was really hard. For example, like the 3 promoted teams are playing 3 name brand teams that you'd kind of think it might be an easy handicap, but Sunderland, Man United, Burnley are at Villa, who were in bad form, and the other one is
Leeds against Spurs. Leeds home.
Leeds against Spurs, yeah. So you've got 3 teams that you maybe want to fade instinctively, and then the 3 lots of opposition. You don't want to bet Villa, Man United, or Spurs. Then you've got Liverpool and Chelsea. Like, what are they all up to? They don't know what they're doing, so I don't know how we're meant to know. Newcastle and Forest, shrug your shoulders. That's 6 games we've mentioned there. And I thought the whole thing was a little bit... I've tried my best, Barry. We'll have a go.
It's all we can do, Malcolm. Let's try
It's all we can do with it.
It's all anyone expects.
Anyway, James Mafia's turned up now, so we can start, Barry. We can make the picks. Come on, James. We've been waiting for you. We are brought to you by mybookie.ag. Your place to bet on football and everything else. The prop builder is second to none. The motto is bet on anything, anywhere, anytime. Easy deposit and lightning fast payouts using crypto. Head to mybookie.ag. Promo code SGPN for a 100% bet back bonus up to $500 for new customers. mybookie.ag. Promo code SGPN or PLGP. We are brought to you by Novig, America's #1 sports prediction market. Since Novig is an exchange, you know you're getting some of the best prices in the market. Novig is available in over 35 states. Download the Novig app. Get $50 when you spend $5 using our promo code SGPN. Get in on the action with Novig. Promo code SGPN. Okay, there is a game on Friday evening, 8 o'clock kickoff, 3 p.m. Eastern time, between Bournemouth and Fulham, where Bournemouth are 17-20, minus 117. The draw 14-5, plus 280. Fulham are 3-1. Tricky start. Baz started this one as the rest sort of followed. Bournemouth only 1 defeat, which was the 4-2 against Liverpool on opening day. But they've drawn the last 2, and they needed a late goal against Leeds last time out. 3 times over 2.5, 3 times under 2.5. 3 times both teams to score yes, 3 times both teams to score no. So no trends for Bournemouth. They're not helping you out much here. Fulham disappointed last week because I fancied them They got 1-0 up after 4 minutes. They could have had a penalty. I think they maybe should have had a penalty against Villa. The biggest problem with Fulham here is that both the strikers got injured. Rodrigo Muniz is definitely out. And Raul Jimenez is 50-50. So that's a little bit of a problem. Both teams to score for me was big enough for two teams that are expansive and just go for it. It's hit for both teams last week. We had a 3-1 and a 2-2. So 4 goals in both of those games last week. It does feel like a kind of over 2.5 both teams to score. Bournemouth win 2-1. I think looking at the chat, Joe's fancying Bournemouth money line. Who else we got here? Danny wants Bournemouth money line. Harry Doherty. Harry, welcome. We'll get to you in a minute. Yeah, both teams to score, but it feels like a 2-1 to somebody with Bournemouth most likely. But in case of the 1-1, I'll take BT to yes.
Yeah, I mean, I found this one okay, really. Bournemouth still lost just the once that first day of the season and a late one to Liverpool. 3 wins, 2 draws since. And 2 of those wins coming at home. So 2 wins and a draw at home, unbeaten in front of their own crowd. And I fancy them to stay unbeaten here. I do fancy they can avoid defeat. It was then, can I get close enough to think they'll take the win here? Fulham have been very middle of the road for me. 2 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses so far. But both the defeats coming away from home, both the wins coming at home. So just 1 point from the 3 away games. And they were really poor in that second half versus Villa last week. And you've just mentioned Jimenez went off there. Munir is already injured. Going to be a bit light up front. And I think Bournemouth have got enough to see them off here. Bournemouth not losing games. Fulham poor on the road and short of firepower. I'm in the same ballpark as everybody in the chat. Bournemouth money line for me. Bournemouth to win 17-20.
Yeah, we've got a shout of Bournemouth Fulham to draw, which is from Ireland Uncut. New name to me in the chat, Ireland. Welcome along. Draw for Andy Williams as well. So a couple of people have gone for the draw there. Yeah, I was going to mention Harry because we did the show on Sunday night before the Everton West Ham game. The handicaps had changed a little bit. We had the new manager bounce to factor in through West Ham. And there was a lot of talk about it. We talked about it live. Someone was asking for a pick. And we kind of all went for the under. So we did go okay. But for the second week running, Baz, I took again faded the West Ham defenders, West Ham set pieces. And I took, having taken Gahey and Lacroix, who both hit the bar the week before, I took Jake O'Brien this time, and Harry Doherty popped up in the chat and said Michael Keane. And Michael Keane did indeed score a thunderous header. So I don't know what, probably be around 25-1 or thereabouts was Keane. So well played there, Harry. Yeah, I feel like I've been chinned there. That's 2 consecutive games I've faded West Ham on the set piece market and haven't been able to get over the line with that. So cheers, well done to you, Harry. Saturday lunchtime, 12:30, kick-off 7:30 Eastern. We go to Leeds United against Tottenham. Leeds are 17-10, plus 170. 5-2, the draw, plus 250. 6-4, favourite Spurs, plus 150. Barry, lead us off.
Yeah, Leeds have had a good couple of weeks after beating Wolves and then a decent 2-2 draw against Bournemouth. And at home, the 3 unbeaten, not lost in all competitions since February at home as well. So tough place for Spurs to come. Next up, Spurs being next up here at Ellen Road. And Spurs unbeaten in 6, but drawn 3 of those, including Bodo this week. Wolves and Brighton in the last 2 league games as well. So lots of draws all of a sudden for Spurs. So the early season forms tailed off a little bit. They did win 4 of their first 5, but now it's 1 win in 4. And I actually fancy someone from Leeds here. I think Ellen Road is a tough place to go. They do seem to pick up results there. I thought Leeds might have been a bit bigger here, which might have brought the double chance into play. But actually the bookies have got these 2 quite close in the market, which wasn't quite what I was expecting. I don't like Spurs at 6-4 on the road at a hard ground to win at. 3 draws in the last 4 games for Spurs. Leeds at home have had 2 clean sheets in 3 games so far. There was 2 thoughts here. I thought low scoring. I think if someone nicks it, we might see a 1-0 either way. But I actually think the 0-0 or the 1-1's right in play here. I do like the unders at 10-11, but I'm going to go a bit bigger. I'm going to go for the draw at 5-2. I think Leeds will get something out of this. I think it'll be a low scoring draw. So yeah, draw for me, 5-2.
I've kind of completely gone the other way, Barry, here. Leeds surprise me every time they pick up a result, because I've never watched them when they've got a result. Every time I've watched them, they've been rubbish. I suppose picking up the point against Newcastle maybe counts as picking up a result. But they just haven't been very good at all. Tottenham have gone a bit Spursy. Back-to-back league draws. Good chance to win last Saturday night against Wolves. Didn't take that one. Then they had to come back from 2 down in the Champions League at Bodo Glimt. But I kept this really simple, Baz. Spurs are better than Leeds. That's me handicap. 6-4 plus 150. I don't mind it. I'm going to take Tottenham to win 6-4 plus 150. Next, 3 o'clock kickoffs. There's only 2. I don't even get to count them up. 1-2. There they go. Arsenal take on West Ham United. Arsenal 1-5 minus 500. The draw 21-5 plus 525. And West Ham are 14-1. There's a big price. Arsenal, better team against Newcastle last week, eventually squeezed out the win. They weren't brilliant against Olympiacos, a game I watched on Tuesday. But they had made a ton of changes. They made 6 changes. Arteta left out Saka, Eze, Declan Rice didn't play, Calafiori, Timber. So he left a lot of players out. West Ham showed definite improvement as the game went on against Everton. And I think they deserve their equaliser. This is a tough assignment. The defending at set pieces will remain a problem. And as we know, that is Arsenal's favourite game to play. Arsenal too short for a handicap. I'm not convinced by that. I like the over 2.5 goals, but that's also too short. So this is one where I bailed out into the props market, Baz, and I went into the corners market. Arsenal had 12 corners at Newcastle last week. The total in that match was 19, by the way. Newcastle had 7 corners. They had 11 corners the week before against Manchester City. They had 8 against Nottingham Forest. So that's your last 3 Premier League games. That would have covered the over 7.5. 2 of them really comfortably, 11 and 12. 7.5 is the line here. So I'm going to take over 7.5 Arsenal corners, 5-6 minus 120.
Yeah, I didn't like this one particularly, just down to the price of 1-5 for Arsenal. And it's a fair price. It's about what you'd expect from them, given who they're up against. But it just made it tricky landing on a pick, because it's certainly not a spot where I'd want to fade Arsenal. West Ham have done nothing to give any confidence. They did stop the rot against Everton with a draw the other day, but again, that doesn't really factor into any of my thinking here. It's one game against Everton. And I think this represents a bigger challenge. And the obvious way in for me was Arsenal goals, because West Ham have conceded 3 or more on 4 occasions already this season in just 7 games. And that includes against teams like Wolves, Sunderland. So Arsenal, I think, can hit this line. I think they can get a few. They put 3 past Forest. They put 5 past Leeds. They were both home games for Arsenal. And West Ham won this fixture last season, but the previous head-to-heads to that, Arsenal won 5-2 and 6-0 at home to West Ham. So they've got form recently for putting up a good score against them. I'm going to take Arsenal to get a few goals. Yeah, Arsenal team total over 2.5 at 10-11 for me.
Harry's pointing out the defensive angle again. Defenders for Arsenal. Why wouldn't you? They're very dangerous, and I can't see Nuno having fixed that issue. So he's gone for Saliba, but you could take anyone you like. I thought Calafiori got forward a lot against Newcastle last week. He looks dangerous. The other 3 o'clock on Saturday is a game where the only suitable outcome is the stadium getting filled with concrete and wasps. It's Manchester United against Sunderland. Man United are 2-1 on, minus 200, 15-4, plus 475. The draw, Sunderland 19-4, plus 575. Who's your favourite, Baz, Man U or Sunderland?
Fucking hell. I was intrigued coming to this one to see what prices the bookies were going to put up for Man United here. When I saw Man United at 1-2, I nearly fell off my chair. Like 1-2, really. As much as I hate Sunderland, I couldn't, in any sane mind, back Man United at 1-2 against anybody. Who's backing Man United at 1-2? I can't get my head around it. It's insane. They've got 2 wins in 7 games in all competitions. Both of them are fortuitous as well. They've lost games to Grimsby, Brentford. They made hard work at Burnley, failed to beat Fulham. And this is a tricky game. The 2 wins came at home, but I'm not bothered about that because last season we saw enough from Amorim to show nobody's scared of going to Old Trafford anymore. And I don't think going to Old Trafford's going to strike any fear into Sunderland, who have just taken points on the road against Palace and Forest in their last 2 away games. They've lost only 1 of their 6 league games. They're unbeaten in 4. And I just see no reason why Sunderland won't be right in this. My first instinct on seeing the odds, before seeing the odds, was I'd want to be on the both teams to score. Man United can't keep a clean sheet. Both teams to score just seemed an obvious pick. 8-11, that is. I don't mind it if you're sticking it in Accas or whatever. But at these prices, Sunderland, you've got to factor them in. Sunderland in the draw, you're getting double chance at 13-8. It's a massive price. You've just got to oppose Man United at these sort of prices. However you do it, you've got to do it. Sunderland, double chance, 13-8 for me. I would be tempted at that price for anyone against Man United at the moment, let alone a side who have only lost 1 of their games so far this season.
Okay. I'm going to go a bit schizophrenic here, Barry. I'm going to say one thing completely separate to everything else, and then I'm going to carry on like a normal human being. What I'm going to say, I think Manchester United are going to stuff them about 4-0, right? That's all. I'm now going to get back. My handicap and my pick isn't like that at all. That's just what I think's going to happen, and I don't know why. Anyway, my opening lines are, Barry, nobody should be entertaining betting Man United, either as an ACCA piece at 1-2, or certainly on the handicap. They're still rubbish. You can maybe point to the 3-2 home win against Burnley as a comp if you want to. But Sunderland, I think, are defending better than Burnley. Sunderland are confusing me a bit because they're making a lot out of very little. They're coming down on the right side of every fine line imaginable, which is fine. Like, you're allowed to do that. And that's what the other dog shit teams haven't done. So fucking good luck to them. Like, I'm not having to go at them for that. I wasn't expecting them to run rapier like through the fucking league. If you can nick a 1-0, nick a 1-0. 5 unders in a row for Sunderland. But Man United have looked like they can score goals. They got 1 last week. They should have had at least another one with the Peno. 3 against Chelsea. They did put 3 past Burnley. And they mangled Burnley for a large part of that game. They could have easily scored 4 or 5. Those last 2 home games have been chaotic for Manchester United. Absolutely chaotic. In fact, last week against Brentford was chaotic as well. The over 2.5 stood out a mile, Baz. The both teams to score stood out in a mile. So I'm going to put the over 2.5 in at 11-10 plus 110, the BTTS, and over 2.5 goals. Next is the tea time kickoff. Fuck knows what we're supposed to pick here. This is impossible as well. Why are we doing this, Barry? Whose idea was this? 5:30 kickoff, 12:30 between Chelsea and Liverpool. Chelsea 9-5 plus 180. The draw 14-5 plus 280. Is that right? Yeah. And Liverpool 13-10 plus 130. Really tricky because both teams have just gone to pot. Chelsea had another red card in the week against Benfica. That's 3 in a row. This time it was João Pedro, who couldn't discipline himself for the last 30 seconds of added time in a game they had sewn up. And the last 2 league games, the red cards have cost them the match. 4 minutes in against Man United, that knocks you out completely for the rest of the game. And then 1-0 up and not cruising, but they're 1-0 up in the second half last week, and the red card is ended up in them losing 3-1. But Chelsea were unconvincing before that as well. The best player is a big miss. Cole Palmer, undoubtedly, is a big miss. Liverpool's behaviour is regressing to the mean, which it had to. They lost to Galatasaray, having been humped by Crystal Palace last week. This game looks incredibly volatile. Both teams are happy to turn this into a basketball match. So once again, I bailed out into the props market and I went shots. I went loads of them. Liverpool have had 91 shots in 6 games. That is a hair over 15 shots per game. That's second in the Premier League. Chelsea have had 78. So that's just over 13 per game. Or in fact, it's exactly 13 per game. And they rank 5th. So the line is at 27.5. So I'm going to take over 27.5 shots. It's 9-10, minus 111. This is going to be fucking mayhem. And I also quite like the cards, Baz, in this, because I just think it's tetchy, really tetchy. Both teams not doing very well. Both think they should be doing a little bit better. And both teams are full of arseholes. So over 4.5 cards is 4-5, minus 125. Baz.
Do like the cards angle. Yes. I'm all flustered. I realised my battery was on 5% on my laptop that I was about to go out. So that's why I've had to frantically rush away to go and get a cable to plug in. So anyway, we're back in the game. Before looking at any odds in this one, I really wasn't sure where I would end up. Like you, first instinct is what the fuck do you do with this one? Just, you've got Chelsea lost back-to-back league games. Liverpool just lost 2 in a row across the league and Champions League. And both teams have had a few question marks over them lately. So it was one where I had to sort of dig quite deep to get to a pick. I did think the odds might, that was my first thought, is like, let's look at the odds and something might just jump out at me. Maybe one of them I'll feel is slightly overpriced. But again, nothing. There was, I thought the books probably had it about right. I think I would probably prefer the 13-10 Liverpool. I would prefer that over the Chelsea price, I think. I don't think Liverpool will lose this, but I'm just not sure if they'll win it. So I never got to pick a side. In the end, I thought goals is the way to go here. Before the 1-0 this week for Chelsea in the Champions League, their last 5 had seen both teams to score and over 2.5. And it's a similar story for Liverpool. 1-0 loss this week in Europe, but the previous 4 had all gone both teams to score and over 2.5 goals. So that's where I've ended up. I ended up back in the goals market, over 2.5 and both teams to score in this one at 4-5. You're on mute. There we go.
I know that. I was
not on mute now.
Shut up. I was checking. I still am checking the injuries for Liverpool because they picked up a couple the other night. Alisson is ruled out. That doesn't really matter who stands in goal. But Ekitike was the big one. 50%. 50-50
it was cramp, didn't he? He said it was cramp, in which case you'd expect him to be there, but who knows?
He's got a little niggle, apparently. That's what that Baldy bloke said. So he's got a little niggle.
Liverpool if he's missing, because I'm not sure they've got anybody else who's capable of putting in.
Well, yeah, they bought that other lad, didn't they? And he's shite. So there you go. Next up, Underdog, great place to play fantasy picking. You can win up to 500 times your entry. Simply pick higher or lower on your favourite player. Stats available for a ton of sports. Underdog is a brand new offer for new customers. Play $5. Get $100 in bonus funds. Sign up with the code PLGP. Rhythm is off to a great start in college football and the NFL. There is the new leaderboard on the app. You can win cash prizes for tracking bets up there. Win up to $1,000. The promo code is SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off your first month. Download Rhythm, use the promo code SGPN25. Next up is, we go to Sunday. 4 2:00 kickoffs on Sunday, starting with Aston Villa against Burnley. Aston Villa are 3-5, minus 175. 31-10 the draw, plus 310. And Burnley 15-4, plus 475. Didn't enjoy this one either, Barry.
No, I mean, you covered it quite well at the beginning before we even started, when you talked about all of these promoted teams coming up against teams that you just don't really trust at all. And quite fittingly, I haven't taken Sunderland, Leeds, or Burnley to get beat in any of these games where, it came to my mind when handicapping this one. If this was week 1 of the Premier League season, then 1-2 Villa would be a perfectly fair price. But the question for me here, when you come into it, is how much do you trust Villa after one good half last week against Fulham? Because other than that, the league form and the performances have been garbage. Europeans been better. They've done okay there. And as I say, if it was earlier in the season and before we'd seen Villa stink the place out for a while, 1-2 might have been fine. But at this stage, can't get on board with Villa at that price. I want to see more from them over a period of time before I'd want to get on them at odds on, even against Burnley, who I think have been competitive. And the thing with Villa's form, it's been poor without them having really faced anyone yet. They've faced none of the last season's top 6, drawn against Sunderland, Everton, beat Fulham, but then lost to Palace and Brentford. Just can't be trusted. 6 of their 8 games have gone under 2.5 goals. It is a mixed bag for Burnley. They limited Liverpool and Forest to a single goal, kept Sunderland out, but then in their 3 away games, they've conceded at least 3 each time against Man United, Spurs and City. So they have shown a tendency to let a few in on the road. So the away form worries me a little bit, but I still can't get a Villa in handicaps or anything like that. I can't see Villa running up a big score against Burnley. So my pick is to follow that Villa form of the low scoring games. I'm going to take the under 2.5 goals here. Villa, Burnley, under 2.5, 10-11.
Yeah, I considered that, Barry. Villa did all right tonight at Feyenoord. Form line questionable. I don't really want to factor Villa in too much at short odds because I've just not been impressed, and they could easily have been turned over by Fulham again last week. No trends much for Villa. You said that the low scoring is the one you'd pick out. Competitive is a word that I've got written down here for Burnley as well. They competed for quite a long time at Manchester City last week. That only got out of hand late on. I think the score ended up a little bit lopsided. And they did get a goal. They've scored in 4 of their last 6 matches. They got 2 at Manchester United. And both teams to score for me, 19-20, minus 105, Baz. So it looks like we're in for the 1-1 draw of the week. Not many 1-1 draws kicking around this season, by the way. I'm not going to pick one till you... if you've got any nearer uploading the music, Barry, onto here.
It's never crossed my mind for the last 6 months.
Okay, so, that's good to know.
If you drop me a reminder over the weekend...
Oh, well, I just did with my mouth.
That doesn't count,
well, write it down. Have you got a pen?
No, I don't deal with pens. Everything's digital.
Well, fucking type it into your machine, then.
Where am I going to type it? Into the chat?
Well, what are you doing? What are you looking at me on now? Fucking Scotch Mist.
Send me a fucking message.
But I'm doing it now I'm saying it out loud.
Take it offline. I'm not accepting that as a communication. You just sing it there. Danny's right. Just sing it.
Oh, but that's not the point, because Pat put all that work in with his guitar like that at the skateboard.
Funny you mentioned that, Amalgam. Pat cropped into my head the other day.
Okay, what did he do?
I've just not heard from him for a while. I wondered if he's still listening.
Yes, I emailed Pat to ask the very same question, Barry, and he's fine. They left Twitter, is what's happened. Most of our interactions were on Twitter, weren't they?
Yeah.
They left Twitter and went on to Threads, is it?
Right, yeah.
Something like, yeah. I don't know why. Maybe some political stance or other. But I have subscribed to his podcast, so the Rockin' the Suburbs podcast. I still have like a little... You like it? You're fucking new music crazy at the minute. You're like Joe Wiley. It's a 10-minute podcast every morning. So wherever you're going in the morning, Bass, they'll do you in the shower when you're having a crap. Like you'll get 2 or 3 songs every morning.
In the shower.
Do you know? Just push it down the plug hole with your toes. You're a busy man, Barry. I thought you'd be all over the multitasking.
It's good to hear Pat's all right. Yeah, funny.
Pat's fine.
Dropped in my head, and I did wonder if you still listen to his podcast or whether he was still listening to ours. But there you go. We should move on and talk about some football, Malcolm.
I rock the suburbs with Pat, Barry, most mornings. 2 o'clock Sunday, 9 a.m. Eastern, Everton taking on Crystal Palace. Everton are... I've got no idea, Barry. Where the fuck are they? They are 6-4, plus 150. 12-5, the draw, plus 240. Palace, 9-5, plus 180. Palace are obviously tempting at these prices. It immediately looks like a WTF, doesn't it? They won tonight, a solid win. They played Dynamo Kiev, was in Poland. And really, the fact that they played that game is the only wrinkle in this handicap. Because otherwise, a little bit like I picked Tottenham because they were better than Leeds. Like, surely you pick Palace as an underdog because they're better than Everton, unquestionably. Like I say, we don't know how they're going to react to the European thing. They've never done it before. It does seem to be the Thursday, Sunday seems to be less of a thing than it used to be. Everyone used to wet their knickers about it. It barely gets mentioned nowadays. But that is the only wrinkle in this. Everton have drawn their last 2 home games, and they drew them against Aston Villa and West Ham, 2 teams that were way, way, way out of form. I'd like to say, I certainly think this is a wrong team favourite, but I just wanted to be a little bit careful, Baz, is what I think Palace can win. I'm absolutely certain they can avoid a defeat. I mean, everyone now quotes Palace's unbeaten record. Is it now 18? It's gone to 9. Yeah. I don't know if they're counting European stuff, so that's now 19 tonight. 1,000,000% they can avoid a defeat here. They haven't lost in forever, and Everton haven't put away worse teams than this. So Palace draw no bet is even money. So just in case it catches up with them and they can't get over the line. But I'd take Palace. But I'll take him draw no bet at even money, Baz, just in case.
Yeah, it's definitely one off the ladies' menu, but you know.
It is off the lady, 100%, mate. Absolutely.
I've been a bit bolder and picked a bigger price, but like you, same thinking. I think you've just got to keep following Palace in this form. Almost 2-1 here, having not lost in 19 games, I think it is now, you mentioned. Just won 3 in a row, including beating Liverpool. And a decent 2-0 away win at Kiev tonight. There are plenty of points towards the unders. 7 of their 10 competitive games have finished under 2.5, and 6 of 8 for Everton have went under 2.5 also. The unders is a very short price, so 4-6 for the unders. And actually, I like Palace here, and I think Palace can get a couple. They scored 2 away at Kiev tonight. They scored 2 or more in 3 of the last 4 Premier League games, including putting 2 past Liverpool. And Everton have conceded 2 or more in 3 of their last 5 games, albeit they were away from home. So at home, they have been better defensively. But I do love the price on this. I think Palace to grab a couple of goals. Palace over 1.5 team total at 7-4. It looks a good price to me.
Yeah, that's kind of the angle of Palace to win the game. But just Everton can defend like they're quite ugly. Barry, it is time for the board game that has got the nation talking. If you remember last time, Barry went 2-0 up. Al Shiraz slotted a controversial penalty. So Barry is 2-0 up. Barry, there are 4 turns left before half-time now. So factor that in, whatever you want to do. It's my kick-off. I need to jettison some of these shit cards, but I can't risk you scoring another one just in case something stupid happens. You can't do that, can you? Right, I'm going to play for time here. I'm going to play this absolute dog shit 4 sideways, that is. What fucking use is that to me, by the way? I've had that since the start. 4 sideways. So we're going to start in A7 and go 1, 2, 3, 4 sideways out to A11, Barry. So 2 squares in from the touchline. And I'm just hoping that if you score a third before half time, I'm going to throw myself out the window.
Just confirm, if I'm looking at your goal, am I 4 to the right of the goal or 4 to the left?
If you're looking at my goal,
yeah.
hang on. The ball is to the left of the goal.
It's to the left of the goal.
It's a fucking numbers. Why have you not got the numbers written down? If you had a pen, this would be fine. A11. It's up there.
Yeah.
You're going that way.
No good to me, that. Oof, I tell you what.
Oh, bollocks off, Barry. Don't even consider putting this in my onion bag.
Close this. No, I'm just gonna play it easy here. I'm gonna go 3 across. 3 back across.
3 back into the middle. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Taking your lead of jettisoning some shit cards.
Is that it?
That's it. Yeah, 3 across.
3. Show me that's never a card, is it? Oh, fucking hell, that's worse. Well, I've played this game loads, I've never seen that card before, Barry. All right, so we're back in the centre circle then. We are in A8. What an incredible waste of time that was. We moved the ball 1 square there, Barry, in total. I'll give you your card. So we're approaching 1, 2, 2 more turns till half time, Barry. So all things being equal, we will hit half time the next show. I'm sure everybody enjoyed that. The ball is in A8, everybody. That is A8. Next game is 2 o'clock kickoff between Newcastle United and Nottingham Forest. Newcastle are 4-6 minus 150, 16-5 the draw plus 320. Nottingham Forest have drifted a little bit. They were 4-1, quarter of a point bigger now. 17-4 plus 425. I think this is you, Baz.
Yeah, I mean, I left this one to last as I wanted to see how Forest got on tonight. Another defeat, 3-2. It's a classic Ange score, that, isn't it? A 3-2 defeat. Defeat tonight sees them winless in 8 now. No win since opening day. Out of the Carabao Cup to Swansea. Struggling early on in the Europa League with 1 point from 2 games. And so in recent weeks, they've failed to beat Sunderland, Burnley, Swansea, West Ham, Midtjylland. They've got terrible form. It's really difficult to make any case for Forest. No clean sheets yet this season. So, you know, the defensive prowess they were renowned for last season's gone. It shouldn't be any surprise given the change of management. So I couldn't make a case for Forest. But similarly, it's hard to want Newcastle at this short a price based on 1 league win from 6, the lowest goals scored in the league. The only positive Newcastle is the defensive record. You could point to positive being last night's game in the Champions League, but again, I'm not giving too much weight to that. I still think Newcastle are miles off it at the moment in terms of getting to their best and really sort of getting anything going. They don't appeal to me at 4-7 Newcastle. They should be winning this one, given Forest's form and given that we are at home. And we did have a good record over Forest last season, but I just found it hard to take them. So I looked at goals, but the Newcastle form suggests low scoring. Newcastle have had a lot of unders. But you're kind of back in unders where Ange Postecoglou's in charge of the opposite team. Forest have now conceded 3 goals on 4 occasions this season as well. So, again, the goals market was sending me all over the place, couldn't it? So I've done what you've done in several areas tonight. I've completely copped out and gone into the stats market. I think Newcastle for corners here. You mentioned last week, big corners in Newcastle's game against Arsenal. 6 corners for Newcastle's home games. Completely lost my track. 4 of the last 6 Newcastle home games have saw them hit this line of over 6.5 is what we've got to get to. So I'm taking Newcastle for 7 or more corners. As I say, they've done it in plenty of their games at home recently, including a couple of big ones. So Newcastle over 6.5 corners, 9-10.
Okay. I've got half a page of notes here, Barry, and I think I'm just going to ignore them all, and I'll explain to you why. We got exactly what we said Newcastle needed, didn't we, in the week, which was a complete performance that also comes with a result. They were the things that were missing, that combination of things. We had a couple of decent performances. It hadn't come to the result, and we needed that. Now, there was 2 things in play there. we did all right. And we picked the team I think is currently our best team. And I just want that to be left alone for the weekend. I don't want to be fucking turning up and singing, no offence to any of these individuals, they're all right. I don't want to be singing Lewis Smiley on the fucking team sheet or Jacob Murphy or some. You've got to pick that team and let them go. Like, that's where we would. The other thing that was in play there was the opposition, Union Saint-Gilloise, were absolutely shite, by the way. I can't wait for the next Champions League pick show because we get them faded. They were dog shit. Fucking hell, they were like Watford. So, if you remember, Barry, last Thursday night, I did my notes in the afternoon. I took the under 2.5 in the Forest-Sunderland game. I then watched Forest in the Europa League play end-to-end basketball, switched it to the over. Sunderland won 1-0. Tonight, I made my notes this afternoon, took under 2.5 at 11-10 for all the reasons. I've then seen the Forest score tonight, and it's gone 3-2. I'm not changing it. My notes for my reasoning for the under 2.5 is watertight. It was solid. We're defending very, very well. And we still don't look like scoring, Baz. We scored 4 the other night. Deflection, penalty, dodgy penalty, deflection. It's like we didn't score 4 worldies, like, do you know what I mean? We scored 1 against Arsenal, and we were looking to get 1, really, last week. But we are defending very, very well. The fly in the ointment is Ange, and whatever the fuck they're up to, nobody knows. Under 2.5 is 11-10 plus 110. We're miles. Why are we so far behind tonight, Barry? 2 games left. Oh, we're not that far. Wolves taking on Brighton. Wolves are 11-4 plus 275. The draw is 11-4 plus 275. Brighton are 9-10 minus 111. Wolves did well last week at Tottenham. Picked up their first point. I saw enough there to continue my thoughts that they will be okay. I did have my concerns after they lost at home to Leeds the week before. Brighton, it's entirely futile trying to handicap them. Look, fucking Brighton. What are they? They're in 10th, so they're just sitting in the middle. Look at us. 1-2, drawn 2, lost 2. Brilliant. Think they can just do what they like and bollocks to the consequences. Even the record this season, drew, lost 1. Drew, lost 1. It's just they're wasting everyone's time. That fucking idiot of a manager, he gets on my tits. They have lost 2 of the 3 away games, and they were 1-0 down last week after 77 minutes against Chelsea before they turned it round. After Chelsea had gone down to 10 men. Wolves are going to beat them here. Basically, it doesn't matter. This is a heads or tails. So I'm getting 11-4 heads. Like, Brighton don't care if they win or lose. Just got to fucking arse around playing football. 11-4 heads. I'll have to take Wolves, but
wow. I'm big on Brighton here. This was the one pick I liked. This
you don't know what they're going to do. They don't care. Brighton don't know the score when they walk off. They're driving back down. And so, does anyone know the score? Now, we don't know the fucking score. We're just running around, kicking it in the goal, trying to stop them kicking it in the goal. Did anyone add the goals up there? Did we fuck? Rubbish. Sorry.
Yeah, so I love Brighton at this price. The league form's mixed. 2 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses. But when you look at the last 4, I think they've had a tricky run. They've played Spurs, Chelsea, City, Bournemouth in their last 4. And they've come away with 3 points against City, 3 points against Chelsea, and a draw against Spurs. So I think it's a decent return from those 4 games. Wolves stopped the slide a little bit with a win over Everton in the Cup and then a draw at Spurs at the weekend. But that's still just 1 point in the league. 5 defeats in 6, including 3 defeats at home. Everton and Leeds, 2 of the sides that have went there and beat them at home most recently. So I can't possibly fathom how you can get to Wolves, to be honest. I think if you give me any reasonable side against Wolves, home or away at the minute around evens, I would take them. So it was quite an easy one for me. I'll take Brighton to win at 19-20.
Last game on the card is the 4:30 Sunday game, 11:30 Eastern. Brentford taking on Manchester City. Brentford are the 15-4 plus 375 home dogs. 7-2 the draw plus 350. Man City 4-6 minus 150. Barry finishes off with a winner.
Yeah, City now 6 games unbeaten, but they did continue last night to show that little bit of vulnerability this week and throwing away a late lead in the Champions League against Monaco. Brentford have got a decent points tally so far, considering the upheaval they had in the summer, the terrible start they had in the first weekend. And I was expecting them to have a proper struggle after they lost that one to Forest in quite convincing fashion on day one. They've had wins over two sides who are struggling, Man United and Villa, at home. But away from home is where they've struggled, losing at Fulham, Sunderland and Forest. So it's whether they can keep up their good home form here in what should be a tougher test for them. Certainly tougher than playing Man United or Villa this season. Both teams to scores hit in 5 in a row for Brentford. But I couldn't go with that because of City's 4 clean sheets they've got so far this season. City have been unpredictable in that sense. You know, they've got quite a few clean sheets early on and then they go and throw one away against Burnley last week. So I kept away from the goals in that sense. It's not been the smoothest of starts for City, but I do think they're looking better than last season. Haaland's back to his best, and there's a few other players around him who are starting to look better. Like the Doku's starting to stand out as a bit of a player. Ultimately, I think they'll have too much for Brentford here. And when City have won games this season, the 3 games they've won in the league, they've won them all by a 3 or 4 goal margin. So when they're winning well. I didn't need much of a handicap here. I don't need them to win by 2 or 3. Well, I don't need them to win by 3 or 4, I should say. But City Asian handicap, -1. So I need City to win by 2 or more to cash it. A City win by 1 will get a push. So it's going to be City -1 Asian handicap, 21-20 for me.
There's a spider, Barry, just gone that way. It's got fucking legs like you. I'm not very good with spiders. I'm barefooted as well. I've normally got my slippers or something on. It's fucking wearing a Berg house, that thing. Like, it's giant. Brentford, 2 home wins, poor Aston Villa team, and then Man United, who are shite. I mean, that puts them on a form line with Grimsby Town, if you're interested. 4 goals in each of the last 3 league games. They've had a 2-2, a 3-1. 2 3-1s and a 2-2. City scored twice in Monaco. They hit the bar twice. They did look like they were full of goals. Brentford gave up loads of chances against Manchester United, who aren't nearly as good. Over 3.5 is a great price because I think Brentford can help out here. It's 6-4 plus 150. But my pick's going to be over 2.5 Manchester City goals. It's 7-4 plus 175. Man City win this 3-1. So yeah, over 2.5 Man City goals. It's 7-4 plus 175. And Barry, we have made it through 10 games. That was a chore. We have gone on a little bit longer tonight. So we did talk a little bit of nonsense here and there. But that was a lot of us trying to work it out on the fly because it was tricky. We'll start the exotics with Data Dave, Baz, because he's on fire for one thing. He's what's he, 4-1 for a 3.1 unit profit, Data Dave. And he's gone very chalky again. He's quite short, but he's ahead, you know what I mean? He's not playing with scared money, Data Dave. He's in front. The Get to Know Data Dave feature runs strong. So I had a nice little chat with him this afternoon, Barry. And I asked him what the first record he ever bought was. And he came up with an absolute belter of an answer. I was delighted when Data Dave replied. Blue Monday by New Order, 1983. So he's aged himself a little bit as well there, Data Dave. And that was 1983. And I quote, "It wasn't just music, it was data in motion," is what Data Dave told me. So there you go. His pick, he's fucking hell. This is a sly pick. He's been listening to me. Arsenal to win and under 4.5 goals. That cheat play we used to like. It's the Bayern Munich play. Arsenal to win under 4.5 goals is -139, round about 7-10. Is Data Dave's pick. I'm going to lock up Tottenham at 6-4 plus 150. Underdog is Wolves at 11-4. Corned beef pie agate is both teams to score in Bournemouth, Chelsea, and Wolves. That is 15-4 plus 372. Steak and Stilton Ake is going to be a moneyline play on Tottenham, Crystal Palace, and Wolves at 25-1. And my anytime goal scorer, it's going to be my mate Phil Foden. He's in form. You just mentioned Doku, people like that. Foden's another in form. He smashed the bar in the week against Monaco. Assuming he starts, obviously they might rotate a little bit, but he's 13-2 plus 650 first and last, 15-8 plus 187 to score anytime, Pat.
Yeah, my lock is going to be Brighton. You love that one, won't you? I told you, big on Brighton this week.
Well, I hope you're going to add the goals up for them because they won't be.
Yeah, lock is Brighton to beat Wolves. My dog's going to be Sunderland 5-1. There's worse dogs around than that. Sunderland.
I see what you're doing there, Baz.
My Aka is going to be both teams to score treble. Corned beef pie Aka. Both teams to score Man United v Sunderland, Liverpool v Chelsea, Wolves v Brighton. 7-2 for the both teams to score Aka. My stake and still Aka is going to be cards. I tell you what, Malcolm, if I just picked my cards in week 1 and just played the same ones every week, because every week I turn on the telly.
Dewsbury Hall got one on Monday night again for a perfectly fair tackle.
Yeah.
Haven't got one the previous week for taking a free kick too quick.
Yeah, he's picked up 5 in a row, so he's banned now. You couldn't have him this week because he's now banned already. But every time I turn the telly on, Dewsbury Hall's getting booked and Lukic is getting booked. So all you've got to do is find the third one, which is usually Romero or someone like that. So yeah, I should have just rolled with it. But anyway, we've got cards and we've got 3 completely new names for the cards game this week. Starting on the Friday night, Tyler Adams for Bournemouth is going to get a card. Chelsea, Liverpool, we said was going to be cards. Caicedo is going to get one of them. And the final one's going to be in that Wolves-Brighton game. Matt Doherty gets a card in that one. 55-1 for the treble. Take the doubles as well. Tyler Adams, Caicedo, Matt Doherty, 55-1 treble. Take the doubles. My score, I'm going to go for Eze. I fancy Arsenal to get a few this week. Eze is 6-4 anytime, 5-1 first and last. And we'll finish off with a ladder. We haven't got all the prices for the ladder, but the idea is the same. It's a repeat of last week's. We're going to stick with Spurs in the corners because Spurs corners has been great. Of late, over 5.5 is all we need for the Spurs corners. That's not a lot. They got 10 last week. So over 5.5 corners, ride it all the way up to over 11.5. I haven't got all the prices, but it's even money for them to get 6 or more. That should be easy enough, and then we'll go up the ladder from there.
Okay, I'll tell you what just popped into my head. Michael Elise is really good at football. I watched Munich the other night, and I forgot how good he was. He was a fucking jolly good. I think it was just you mentioning Eze there, and the dreadlocks popped into my head. So Elise is good. Right, I think we're done, Baz. Anything you want to tell the people before we let them go?
I've got one success this week, Malcolm. I ran 3 minutes non-stop yesterday. Mm-hmm. That's a lot, isn't it? Can you do that?
Was someone chasing you? Was it the police?
No, I was chasing the ice cream van down the street.
Was it the park attendant?
I'm doing the old couch to 5K. I'm on to week 3.
Fuck
and
that.
I looked at week 3 and it said I had to run for 3 minutes. I was like, I've never run for 3 minutes without stopping before. But I did it like twice, two intervals of 3 minutes, in fact. So what do you think about that?
I fucking couldn't care less. Just note for me that I'll do the couch to the bath and back to the couch. That's what I'm doing. And I'm very, very successful at that. I've got to go to Scarborough tomorrow, Baz. I've got a job at the Royal Hotel in Scarborough, the proper old Victorian.
Oh, God. It's
the what?
Full of refugees in it these days.
What? The Royal Hotel in Scarborough?
Yeah.
Is it?
Oh, I'm sure it is. I'm sure Jamie went there on, one of them mystery tours where you There's a funny story about this. You get the mystery tours where literally you're booking a coach trip to somewhere in the UK, and invariably you always end up in either Bolton or Scarborough.
Bolton?
Yeah, Bolton or Wigan is the other places. They send you to the worst places on earth.
Bolton?
But anyway, he got sent to Scarborough, and he said it was absolutely awful. But they had to leave all their luggage in this room, and then at some point someone noticed there was loads of refugees rifling through their bags in the next room.
Okay.
Well,
that's maybe they're
might be different.
They booked a casino night in for the lads. That's upped my excitement levels, Baz, for that. Because this storm's coming in, Baz. It's going to be horrible. Storm Amy's on its way, so all the football's going to get cancelled for the little people, which is all right. Oh, shit, that made me. That Bolton. They can't send people to Bolton. They've got this hotel in Scarborough, Baz.
I've heard of people being sent to Wigan, that's for sure. Wigan was definitely one.
There's a hotel in Scarborough. It's like for old people like to go to. And it convinces them they're going on like a European trip. So they go to this hotel in Scarborough. And in the morning, they put them all on a bus and they all fuck off. And while they're on the bus, they like turn the hotel into like a French hotel. So the menu will be French. They'll put like decorations and stuff up. There'll be a bit of French music, the old decor. And the people come back and they have a day in France, in the evening in France. And then the next morning they get on the bus and they fuck off again. And they turn into like an Italian hotel. So you can have like 7 days around Europe, all in Scarborough, by not going anywhere, which is a great thing. People just get convinced.
I've just checked, actually. It was the Grand Hotel in Scarborough, not the Royal Hotel. However, looking at the Google reviews, the Grand Hotel gets 3 stars out of 5 on Google. The Royal Hotel is far more upmarket, 3.3. So
well, there you go. It is one of these, we get them a lot where it's like the main hotel in a town. I go to the Holston in Carlisle, where it used to be in Victorian times. It was the main thing. A little bit like we've got the Station Hotel in that in town. And the Royal in Scarborough is that massive, right on the front, on the cliff, overlooking the bay, where all the Victorians would go and have their holidays and all that stuff. Right, we're talking absolute bollocks, Barry. Let's go away. It's fucking 1:45, man.
This is probably
we'll do this again on
I can ever remember.
International break, innit?
Yeah, can't wait.
Fucking hell. For people over the pond,
all that shit we've had to waffle about, we should have saved that for Sunday night.
Oh, yeah. Now we're going to have nothing to talk about. I'm covering the USA versus Ecuador live commentary next week. For all you people in America, you can listen to your team getting humped off Ecuador with my dulcet tones, explaining everything. Right. Thanks, everybody. I can see people in the live stream are dropping off now in their droves, Barry. It's like there's a fire alarm in the comments. Right. Yeah. Good luck with your picks. Enjoy the football. Keep the schedule on notifications because we'll be back with more of this hard-hitting, incisive stuff next week. Good luck. We will see you all down the road. Cheers.